I don't know how it's so hard for me every time. All right, so we're gonna grab soup cans or small weights. I'm just gonna mute you guys so that it's a little funky for the recording. What am I doing? Mute all. No. Manage participants. Why is this so hard? There we go. Boy. All right, so we're gonna go over the single arm one first. That'll be a good way to warm up. If I'm doing my right arm, I'm gonna be, or sorry, if I'm doing my left arm, I'm gonna be on my left knee. So the weight will be kind of in between my knee and this other, it's kind of like centered. So for a clean and press here, I'm gonna hinge over, staying really tight, clean it to my front rack, and then press overhead. So it's a really strong straight line, just like your Samson stretch. Then elbow comes down and you're gonna reach back to the ground. So let's get 5 right, 5 left. I know they're not heavy, pretend they are. We're just looking for movement. So finding that good lunge position, what's natural for you to hinge over, put it right in the middle. So Mike, don't bring it in front of your foot, your right foot, bring it right between that right foot and your left knee, wherever it would naturally hang. Bring it to your front rack and then press. Straight up, squeeze and press. Good. The biggest thing here, guys, when you clean it, you should be really squeezing your glute. And then when you press, you should also really be squeezing your glute. That's going to protect your low back and help you tap in to that really strong, full extended core. So we're just trying to go straight up, straight down, strong core in the hinge, and a nice big overhead press. So for many of you who have any issues overhead, if you have problems locking out, I'm gonna suggest stick with the one-sided. You know, you can make your weight challenging, but stick with the one-sided so you can really get a good press. But we'll try it two-sided. And for that, you're gonna be kneeling on both knees, and whatever you have will be right in front of you, or maybe right beside you rather, sorry. I was thinking of a barbell. But if I had one big dumbbell, it would be in front of me, or a barbell in front of me. 2 goes to the side. So from here, I'm just kneeling, and I want to push the floor all the way away from the ground, squeeze my butt to get myself to this position, keeping my glutes squeezed, and I'm gonna press underneath. So from here, squeeze and press. And it's really all in the glutes. And I'm just gonna come back down, tap, squeeze, and press. So just let's get 10 of those where you're just looking to find your balance. These should be nice and light. And then you guys can play around with what you want to use for your weights. So Rose, don't sit back onto your feet every time. That'd be like doing a squat, right? So I don't want to go from here. I want to go from here. Like I'm hinging over just to tap, and then I'm going to explode. So hinge, tap, explode, press. So this really shows, it's kind of like doing hang, clean, and jerks, right? Like you're taking the travel from the floor to around your knees out of the situation. Just like you would be doing if you started a clean and press from a hang. So what we're gonna do next is take a moment, play around with what you wanna use, build up to something that challenges you. You can find something challenging that you can get under with both arms. Maybe it's light, but it's hard for you to get under it. You know, a backpack even would be hard. A med ball, I tried yesterday and that was great. Play around with finding something that's challenging that kind of forces you to tap into something good. That looks great overhead, Kels. Really focusing on squeezing the glutes and that looks great, Carrie. And think about the position of your knees, guys. If you're standing up, you would never have your knees glued together. So allow your knees to come just a little bit apart and maybe your toes come together for a little more support behind you. Good. Make sure you're squeezing and pressing all the way up. So you've got a straight line from the knee to the hand. I like the kneeling. It's really good for finding a strong overhead position. You can use that mic, just be awkward.
When we, after we clean it, can we like have a little dip to like drive?
We're gonna try to press, but if you need to like get a little oomph, you can.
I'm just worried that as I go higher in the reps, it's gonna get harder.
Yeah, for sure it does. But it could be the type of thing like on mine, I was doing 35. I think that was too much for me, honestly, on my left side. I'm kind of feeling it today. But at the end, I was able to get through like sets of 4 and 4.
Okay.
But you know, if you had 25 or 30, that would be perfect.
I have 25s.
Oh, there you go.
Did you use 1 or 2?
I used 2 15s, and then I used 1 35 single arm.
Okay.
And I think 30 would have been perfect. 25 would be great for single arm. So just make sure that whatever you're using is a little bit of a challenge. It kind of makes you search for some stability. You can also have a couple different things and cycle back and forth if you want to, you know, alternate between rounds. Our rounds are going to be pretty quick, especially in the beginning. However, this is a ladder up. So in the end, those rounds get taxing. That's great, Maura. That's a fun apparatus ball. So what we're doing with these is going to be just sit-ups. You can use an ab mat, make them traditional ab mat sit-ups, use your arms. You cannot use your arms if you don't want to. Wherever you're at though, make sure you've got like a comfortable mat underneath you. You're not going to chafe yourself with a lot of reps. We're going to start with the clean and press, and then it goes back to the sit-ups. So 2 clean and press, 2 sit-ups, 4 clean and press, 4 sit-ups, 6, 6, 8, 8, 10, 10. I made it through 14 plus 6. That's just like to put it out there as far as like, be great to get through 12, right? Because that's somewhere close. But I made it through 14, so somebody could get through 16 for sure. I wasn't moving at the speed of light. Any questions on anything?
Yeah, is it 2 right and 2 left?
No,
or is it 1 right?
If it's one-sided for you, especially if it's kind of a challenge, then you definitely want to just keep it, your round of 2 would be 1 right, 1 left.
Okay.
Your round of 4, 2 right, 2 left. Okay, so I'm going to find my timer for 8 minutes. That's not that long. That means we're going to try to really go hard the whole way. Strong core. AMRAP. All right, we are ready. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, starts with just 2. All the way up, and then a quick 2 sit-ups. Good. And then we go right into our round of 4. Again, only 2 right, 2 left if you're doing separates. Yes, rows. Those are great. Squeeze the butt. Really use the hips. Squeeze the butt. Yes. Squeezing your glutes is going to protect your back, guys. Squeezing your glutes is going to give you more stability. Awesome work. Good, Kels. Try to straighten your arms out in the bottom. Although I guess maybe that's just kind of impossible. There you go. No, it isn't. Good, Carrie. Yes. It's like your hips floating straight up. That's what you want to do. Good, Kat. Really bracing the core on those single arms. Gives you a chance to keep the ribs down, pressing into the hollow body. You go all the way up, Mike. Squeeze and press. Try to engage the front side of your body. Make sure you're not arching back under it. Great glute squeeze, Rose, sending it all the way up. Nice job. Squeeze and press. So Steph, with one dumbbell, do the lunge position and switch your feet with you switch your side. That way you'll have to search for a little bit more oomph, I think, and you'll have more stability. There you go, Sean. Use those arms. There you go, Steph. Squeeze and press. Try to connect to that hollow core, Mike. Pressing all the way up. Good, Carrie. There you go. You got to get quick elbows under that, Mora. Woo! Squeeze the glutes. Yes. Woo! We're almost halfway in it, guys. Good, strong core. That's our halfway point, guys. You're halfway through. You have 4 minutes to go. These are the big reps. They take longer. Nice core, Cat. Way to use your core for that press. Nice job, Sean. Like you're starting a lawnmower with that pull. Good, Kels. Good glute squeeze. Keep the glutes tight. Way to go, guys. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Just keep squeezing and pressing. Yes, Steph. Good, Mora. Nice press. Good, Jess. Super smooth, easy pace. You got this. Stay in it. Squeeze that right glute as you press. Less than 2 minutes to go, guys. Stay in it. Really quick ab mats. That's the quick part. There you go, Mike. All right, Kat. Stay tight. You got this. Good. Keep pushing. Yeah, more. Here we go. Quick reps. We want to get to the quick reps. Nice job, guys. Yes, Kat. Squeeze it out. Squeeze it out. There you go, Rose. 1 minute of work, guys. Good job. Big squeeze. So great. Let's go, Carrie. "40 seconds of work. Keep it up, Kels. Get back to that dumbbell. Let's go. 30 seconds. Every rep counts. Here we go, Mike. Yes, Maura. Squeeze and press. You got this. Woo! 10 seconds. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Outstanding. All right. So we're just going to go through and just touch base, see how things were, get some scores, and then we've got some fun technique work to address together. Carrie, how'd it go for you?
I got up to 14.
You got up to 14. Did you get through it?
Yes.
Perfect. How'd it feel for you?
Good. Like I said yesterday, I think these are good for me, like when I'm able to slow down and like focus on technique, because I'm so new still. So I've learned a lot, and I can feel my core lighting up where it never used to.
Cool, yeah. So hopefully that will translate to a barbell next time you grab a hold one.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah, nice work, Carrie.
Thanks.
Sean and Jazz.
We'll go first, Vic.
I got 14 plus 15.
All right. And then Sean, what about you?
16 with not a second to spare.
16 even. Awesome work, Sean. You guys both did one-sided. How'd that feel?
That was good.
Good.
Yeah, what'd you have for weight, Sean?
It was pretty light because my arm's still, but 10, 15.
Cool, but you were able to press it and feel good about it?
Yeah, feeling better.
Awesome. That's great for your elbow. Jess, what'd you have?
I had the same.
All right, great.
With
Nice
my
work, guys. Glad to have you at lunch.
Right.
Kels, what about you?
16 plus 9.
Woo! How'd they feel?
Good. I think my lower abs are really sore from the pass-throughs yesterday or something, because those sit-ups, man.
That's great. We like when our abs are sore, right? It's kind of like our glutes. It's one of the hard ones to feel a lot. That's great. And from the knees, felt anything strange?
I liked it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Better than bending over to the ground every time, right?
Yeah, I liked that, like, you really had to squeeze your glutes and, like, you couldn't jump off your heels. Like,
yeah, so it was a good way of getting people, like a lot of times people tend to, I would say, not open their hips, right? Or so they're jumping their feet up, and I say try to stay in your heels because they're in their toes. So this kind of takes you out of that. You can't do that, you know?
Yeah, I really liked that.
That's cool. It was a fun way to I kind of discovered that just in playing with it. So
Yeah.
cool. Kat, what about you?
I had 16 plus 8.
Awesome work. You were pushing it for those too. Like, I felt like you were struggling to find it on some, but like on most, they looked really great.
This arm, I definitely struggled with the end.
But it's good to, you know, the one-sided stuff too. Like I felt yesterday, I really struggled on my left side and I felt great on my right side. And so it was great because I could find the little nuances. Like I would notice that, oh, my elbow isn't in it nearly as tight as it is on that side. So I'm going to hold my elbow in a little bit tighter, and it felt a little bit better. And I was like, okay, that's huge, you know? So the one-sided stuff really exposes those differences where you might be able to kind of make some small tweaks that help.
Yeah.
You know, good versus bad sides. You can kind of see a comparison. Awesome work though, Kat. Maura? I didn't get you already, right? No.
I had 14 plus 14.
Awesome. I love the rough bag.
Yeah, the
Sandbag or whatever you have.
The sandbags, I did a few with a 20-pound dumbbell and then the rest with the 25-pound sandbag.
That was
but
cool.
I like the sandbag because I could practice with a bit of my wrist mobility, which is a problem for me.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's a great way to kind of get around that and still work on getting under it. That's one thing we should do in this COVID time is I have like 15 sandbags that are all still in the boxes because I just never filled up with sandbags. And it's like, man, if you guys want to go get a sandbag, you can fill it up and then bring it back.
It's such a cool tool. I've been enjoying mine. I've used it a little bit in different ways, and yeah.
Great. It reminds me of, or this whole workout kind of reminded me of Christy, our member, or she used to be a member that has no legs. And she used to do a lot with sandbags and ruck bags because it's just easier to like do different varieties without having the balance of your feet. All right. Awesome work, Maura. Steph?
I got 16 plus 8.
You. How'd it feel?
I actually really liked that. They
Yeah.
felt really good. They felt super solid. I felt really connected with the hinge and connecting to both of my glutes, which I struggle with.
Oh, that's great. I feel like it was a great way for you to connect with like that tailbone tuck under, you know, just from the knee down or the knee up rather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great score. Rose.
I got 14 even.
14 even. I loved what you did though with those dumbbells. You were owning them.
Yeah, they felt good.
Yeah, that was awesome. You crushed it. All right, Mike. Oops, I just muted you. There we go. I got you. You're good.
10 plus 7.
10 and 7.
I don't know how, but I messed up the count about halfway through.
Oh, you maybe you did like round 8 twice or round 6 twice. You know that can happen. But good work from all of you. And now we're gonna go ahead and go through our Turkish get-ups. So what I did yesterday, which was really fun, was I went through it in a compartmentalized way, repeating each process over and over before I'd move on to the next one. So that is kind of how we're going to move through it in our warm-up or in our like review. So we're all just going to need a shoe for this. We'll just keep it super simple. And we're going to go through around on each side with just a shoe, and that's the one we'll do with like a lot of reps. And then after that, you guys can play around with building up the process. So I don't know if I'll be able to get my whole self on here. Maybe I need to go up a step. Okay, so what we're gonna do is grab yourself a shoe that I need. All right. We're all gonna grab our shoe and we'll start on the right side just so that we're all on the same side. And for this, you're just gonna lay right down. And if you're on the right side, that means I've got my right arm up, my shoe is in my right hand, and I'm gonna bend to my right knee. But to hold my shoe, I wanna make a fist and just balance it on top of my fist. What this does is makes it so you've got no room for error. I have to just keep pressing up. I really can't do this without a really good lockout and a strong focus on my shoe. So every time I start a Turkish get up, it's always the same side. My right arm's up, it's gonna start with my right knee up. Then I'm gonna put my left arm out. I'm just gonna practice the sit-up part. So I'm gonna practice pivoting up to my left elbow and then pressing up to my left hand. From here, I'm gonna come right back down to my left elbow and down to my laying down again. So let's practice just sitting to the elbow, wrist, wrist to elbow, get 4 reps. And always try to look at your item or whatever you're Turkish get-upping, because you wanna keep your focus on it. You wanna keep everything stacked up. So remember, it's just elbow, then to wrist, then sit back down to elbow, and then find your wrist. We'll get 4 on one side, and then 4 on the other side. So when you're done with your right side, you're gonna switch sides. It's the same exact thing. Left arm up, left knee up,
right arm out, and you're just gonna press up to your elbow and to your wrist. Back down to your elbow and to lay down. So this is kind of just the sit-up portion of your Turkish get-up. Keep that arm straight, Mike. Keep locking it out. It's important that you remember it's locked out the whole time. So moving through 4 right, 4 left. And when you're done with that, you can take a pause and sit back up. After you get 4 right, 4 left of the first step, which is just the sit up, then we're gonna practice bridging our hips up. So I get my elbow, right? And then I find my wrist. We've already done that. So we're gonna do that to start. And then from this position, we're just gonna keep that right foot dug into the ground, and I'm gonna practice opening up my left hips. So I'm coming to like a side plank, and then I'm just gonna come back down to my seat. So I'm gonna practice opening up and then coming back down. So start from the ground, work your way to your sit-up position, and then get 4 where you open up and press down. Arms have to stay straight, Sean, and we're just going between the open and back down. So just practice that one step over and over. Press the hips open, press into that right foot. That's better, Sean, good. It's like a plank, a side plank. So you have to move your shoulders to stay underneath this weight, even though it's weightless, the shoe. All right, so then always start lying down all the way, guys, and work your way into the rep via your sit-up, and then stay there for the 4 reps, where you pike up, or bridge up, rather. Open the hips, and then come back down. Awesome, Maura. So Turkish get-ups are just a big yoga series, right? Like, it's just a yoga flow. So you don't have to do the sit-up every time, guys. You just have to do the sit-up and then 4 of the air humps. So once you get 4 opens on each side, then we're gonna add on to that sequence. So the next step is getting from that open position to finding a kneeling position. Again, I'm gonna start just the same way I did before. I'm gonna get the start of my reps here. So I'm gonna get my elbow, I'm gonna get my wrist, I'm gonna get my hips up. And then the move I'm gonna practice 4 times is I'm gonna find that knee and come to kneeling. Then I'm gonna find my wrist, and I'm gonna come back. Then I'm gonna find my knee and come to that position. All right, so make your way back to where we ended, and you're gonna get 4 reps, just moving from that open plank into your kneeling position. So you have to find it, and then step forward and bring the knee back. So Maura, the goal is to get to a Captain Morgan's position. So that means we have to come up from that kneel. And then Rose, I also saw you having trouble getting that leg. So just look here for a second. What you're gonna do is you start, right? So it starts here. I wanna bring this left foot that's in front of me, I wanna bring it basically right under me, right? So it's right under me. And then I have to kind of move my foot back, and I'm gonna come forward to that kneeling position. So then I'm gonna move that foot as I come back underneath it. Sometimes it takes coming out of it for you to realize how to get into it. Hips up. And then find that knee underneath you, Maura. There you go. And then you can, that's it right there. Find that wrist again. And open up the hip. Good. Good, Kels. So it's really just about stacking and moving your shoulders underneath your stacked arm. Bracing your core and moving with everything. Awesome, Kat. So once we get from or through your Captain Morgan's position, and you've hit that 4 times on each side. The next position we have to practice is getting to standing. So that's gonna take us getting to that Captain Morgan. So you're gonna run through every rep. We just get so much extra practice. So you always wanna hit your positions. The more you think about your positions, the less you have to think about them, right? So I need to start here, and then I'm just gonna go to standing, nice and strong, and come back to kneeling. And then go to standing and come back to kneeling. So remember, even though you can't see my upper body, my arm was completely locked out, and I'm focusing on that weight. So find your way back to that Captain Morgan. And then you're gonna practice just standing up and coming back to your knee with control. And then back standing, and back to your knee. So once you get through, you're just gonna get 4. And then you can try the other side, but again, move through it because it's practice. Good, Maura. Awesome stuff. Good, then find that. Oh, good. So once you get to the top, that's basically only halfway through the rep, because then you have to bring yourself back through in reverse to get back to the ground, right? But we've practiced everything in reverse and forward 4 times. So going through a full rep is just starting laying your elbow, you find your wrist in that sit up, you find your knee, you stand up tall, then you come back down through those positions. So if you're having trouble finding your knee, think about what comes first. Did you open your hips in that bridge first? Did you get yourself to a position that you can then get there? So usually we're skipping something. If something goes really awkward or we can't find what comes next, it's usually that we've skipped something, so we're not lined up for it next, right? So just really practicing, even though it seems maybe silly, to practice those positions, even if you had no weight, even if you weren't even focused on your arm overhead and you just practiced on the body positions, like the planks and the opening up and getting your knee under yourselves, that's hard work. And then add weight to it, focus, and keep your lockout while you're moving. So this series of movements, this Turkish getup, when you add weight to it and you work through your reps this way, it's going to expose some weaknesses if you have weaknesses in mobility, just like a handstand would, but it's gonna teach you how to move under that, and it's gonna kind of move things for you. Most of us get locked up here because we're not doing enough of like these types of movements, right? Because we're pretty linear. So this stuff is what kind of gets junky for many of us. If we learn how to sit ourselves under that weight and move under it, think of how much activation you're getting here while you're moving, right? And how much that's gonna open things up for your overhead positioning to be pressing into. So now if you want, we'll take some time and move through some weighted Turkish get-ups. And obviously you have to do one side at a time, and we wanna start light. But it's mainly, we really wanna focus on the lockout. Like Sean and Jess, I would ask you if you could to maybe bring your camera up a little so I could see your lockout. But really focus on your lockouts and try, that's great, Sean, thank you. Try to focus on the positions. If you get stuck along the way, just think about what was supposed to be before that. And if you need a little refresher along the way, or you need me to talk you through one, let me know. Find that knee, Carrie. Oh, there you go, somehow. Good. Then find your hand, lean back, find your hand, and then open up those hips. And yeah, that's it. And bring your butt down. Rose, you were in a funky position with those knees somehow beforehand. There you go. That's what we're missing on our way up. Good, hips up, and then find that knee underneath you. That's it. Carrie, your feet are getting a little twisted along the way. So just think about alignment. You can't kind of step on top of yourself like that. There you go. So press up. Use that foot, that right foot. That's it. You got to use that foot. Keep that right foot down. Good. Nice job, Kels. Great lockout. If you're pretty comfortable with this range of motion or, you know, the order of operations, definitely work on challenging yourself. And these are the types of things, if you can master these and go slow with control and find positions, you're worlds ahead of many people who can do lots of very big explosive movements, because slow control is much more powerful and impressive than, keep that arm locked out. Good, Kat, making it look natural. There you go, hips up, hips up. Yes, Rose, that's it. Good job. Good, just stay under it. Keep that arm locked out and close to your ear. Keep it hugging in nice and tight. There you go. Looking at the weights, guys, is going to be helpful. Just think about pressing yourself up underneath it. Good, Kels. Great control. You got a Turkish get up cadence. Go find that knee, Carrie. Yes. Press it up, press it up. Great position, Maura. Good. There you go. Stay tight, Kat. Find that hand. There you go. Good job, Kat. There you go. Keep locking it out, Sean. No sloppy elbow. So Carrie, your side plank should include your foot staying down. You're not really looking for, it's kind of like a modified side plank where we're looking for our knee there. So use that foot. And then find that knee, your left knee. There you go. So you're never really in a line like a straight side plank with your legs. Yes, Rose? Good. So if you kind of feel like you've worked through enough weight, you can, whenever you want, it's 12:47, so we've got about 10 minutes before 1. You can keep working through some sets if you want, or touch base. Kels, how'd things feel?
Good. I've always really disliked doing those.
I think I remember that about you.
So I think maybe going through them like we did at the beginning was really helpful.
Cool, that's good to hear. I did it yesterday with just a light, I think I had a 10-pound weight or 15-pound weight, and I went through and I did 4 of everything in a row on one side before I came down. And it was like the world's hardest rep of one, you know, but it was not boring. I was not like, you know, it's not like doing a million of the same thing when you're slicing it up that way. And it was neat to do the same thing over and over again. You start to, oh, that's the pattern. So cool. I'm glad that was something that was helpful with you.
Yeah.
Great. Anybody else?
I like them a lot.
You like them? Just finding, you had great positions. So just finding the positions and the control.
Yeah, it was good. Like watching it, it was very helpful to have it broken down in steps because like I just work better that way and then be able to put it together because like watching it in one fluid motion, I was like, not gonna get that.
It's a complex movement, and that's a pretty understated, you know, like complex, because it's like there's so many different points of it. You could dissect that. Even how we did, you could go back and dissect each clip we did a little bit more, right? Like you could go elbow, 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 and then wrist, 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 and you know, like, so there's even more ways of breaking it down. It's just kind of like doing a clean. You know how we break down a clean, it's just one movement, but you break it down into the deadlift and the high pull and so yeah, cool.
Yeah, I wanted to say, Rachel, I thought I've only attended 2 classes or maybe 3 since you started doing the 196 programming. And I thought you've done a very good job of having some new moves.
Thanks. It also is only day 4.
Breaks up the monotony, you know, not monotony, but you know what I mean, the repetitiveness. And I thought you've done a really good job. I just want to give you kudos.
It is only day 4 though, guys. So
I feel like you're bringing back a lot of the old stuff.
It's true. You know, it's funny is like, I remember maybe 8 months, 9 months ago, my coach really drilling to us, like, you guys should be practicing your Turkish get-ups at least like weekly. You should get under some weight and really learn how to move under it. And, you know, you can see your kinks there. You can kind of feel things. It's a good primer. It's a, you know, a lot of connection needed. And that's when he said that to me, I was like, God, I haven't done those in forever. And then I like still never saw him. And maybe we've seen him once and whatever, but yeah, we'll see those more. And they're also the types of things that are kind of fun to work on your own, because they're kind of like a puzzly thing, right? Like they're type of thing that like, when you kind of understand it a lot more, it's like, it's just that little puzzle that you want to play with a little bit. And it really does feel different side to side, and you can kind of work on those things. Like Rose had trouble, I think, in the beginning, getting your knee, finding that position, but I feel like you actually were able to find that in the end, yeah?
Yeah, the opening up the hips part is the hardest. Like,
yeah, I think part of it too is like having to realize that it's okay to like swing your foot around, or, you know, open up and make a little bit more space for yourself to get into that position. It doesn't have to be like a super straight line, or, you know, just try and find that position and not skip it. Because in the beginning you would just skip it. You're like, well, I'll just get to this one because I can get to this one. But it's like, no, you can't. So it forced you to find it, but you'd get there. And then as you're doing it more, it just becomes more natural, less like foreign. Yeah. Cool. Carrie, was that your first time doing a Turkish get-up? Yeah. And so you have nothing to compare it to as far as like how difficult they are, but they felt okay for you?
Yeah, a little complicated, but as long as I kept remembering to break it down, it was okay.
Yeah, they are complicated. So it's also the type of thing that, because they're so complex and stuff, it's like, if you've never done them before, don't stress if you don't get it. Just, you know,
it took me a long time.
Like today. That's good though. Mike, how did things feel for you today?
It felt fine. Doing the Turkish get-up made me stretch muscles that don't normally get stretched. So
yeah, just putting you in those like open hip planks and stuff like that. That's good.
Yeah. My ceiling is a little low, so I couldn't really lock my arm out at the top, but
that's okay. Look, it's the way it's getting there and down that's really the hard part. So all right, guys, so announcements. Tonight we're gonna have trivia at 7 o'clock, and I'm the trivia master, and it is gonna be themed tropical. So
you know, if that spawns or inspires anything, then that's cool. But that's what the theme will be. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. It's at 7 o'clock, and it probably wouldn't take us much longer than an hour. I'm sure it won't take us an hour. So join us if you want. Bring your team of whoever you live with, and it's been fun so far. So let's keep it going. And other than that, we will see you on Friday.
Where's the link for that?
It should be in the same, like I put a Zoom link thing on the top of the Swampdonkey page.
So it's in that same thing?
Yeah, there's a recurring
yeah.
7 o'clock. It should be there.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, bye guys. Steph, do you want to hang out and get tomorrow's workout and go over that?
Go over? Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you're still recording. I don't know if you still want to be.
Although as the day's going on, man, I'm getting more sore and